Hey everyone, and welcome to our week 11. Thank you to those of you who signed up to go first this week for your presentations. I'm very excited to see what you guys do. We have our first one that's been posted, so Emmeline Alt. And so I've posted that today, which is Tuesday. And so thank you. And also, we're going to continue our foray into poetry this week. I do very much encourage you to do some spooky poetry this week if you feel so inclined. I did put a master list of poetry on here for you just to kind of help you. But like our big picture here that we're going to be looking at is like looking at like how we react to poetry and like how we think critically about poetry, and even if we don't like poetry, just like what does poetry say about us, right? As humans and as and at our very core. So as you are thinking through your poetry for this week, if you want to do some spooky poetry, please do so. I've got some poems here that I've posted and some elements of poetry. And I had a few questions come up about the annotated bibliography. So I'm going to go ahead and walk us through that so that everybody is on the same page. So the presentation guidelines are the ones that I've sent out a couple of different times. Um, and so I'm going to go over the annotated bibliography. But before I do that, just like as you're doing poetry this week, I'm going to switch out something. I'm going to tell you what that is in a second. Um, but the assignment that you're going to do is something called flash poetry. And what I'm going to have you do for this flash poetry is just to pick a poem, any poem, spooky poem, not spooky poem, whatever. I've got lots of lists. But as you are looking through it, you can do it on paper, you can do it on Canvas, whatever. It's not an essay, it's a free response. I don't care about it being specifically in MLA format. I don't really care if you bring in outside scholarship. I just want to see that you're thinking. So you're going to annotate a poem, any poem, and then I have some guides for those annotations. But then what you're going to do is then you're going to reflect, right? About a line, image, or theme that stands out to you, a memory or emotion, your understanding of the poem. Really, this is a practice in like reflection and metacognition. Just like how are you thinking about how you're interacting with poetry, not just about trying to like analyze it, right? So I really want you to think through like what is something or a piece of poetry that you resonate with this week? Okay, so kind of switching back and making sure that our framework is all in line here. We got our presentations, we got our poetry, we've discussed poetry. All right, so in regards to your presentation and your annotated bibliography, I've put in I took away the collaborative research project. I decided that something else would be a little bit more focused for what how our conversations have been going. And so I decided to remove that. I will do a replacement that'll be more of a focused poetry critique. But for now, we can just, if you were thinking about that, we can bypass it because it seemed like it was feeling a little too much for people, and that's okay. So in regards to your final exam for 112, it is going to be an annotated bibliography as opposed to a full essay. Now, what that means is that we're going to be doing a lot of discourse revolving APA, um, which is how you do for a specific formatting for the American Psychological Association, which is like sociology, your sciences, your nursing degrees, your education, etc. And what you are going to be doing is you are going to pick a text that we read in the class, or that's in your book, or that you find online if you don't want to use any of these selections. And you are going to pick a topic, subject, or theme from it, i.e., like if you do Sunny's Blues, then you might want to go into more detail about drug addiction on the streets of Harlem in the 1920s. Just one suggestion. And what you're going to do is you're going to create an annotated bibliography. And this annotated bibliography is creating a thesis for sources that are going to be journals, credible websites, and then you have to have one media or community source. That is where you can use this to dovetail into your presentation. Now, as you heard earlier, like if they don't, that is okay, but sometimes it's nice when they do. So make that call. Let me know if you need help. Um, so when you're writing the annotated bibliography, you'll have four entries. Each of those entries has to be a good solid paragraph, which will be a summary, a rhetorical analysis of the passage, and then relevance to your topic. So you're going to be walking through the rhetorical analysis of the topic with each of your sources here. And so that is going to be the key with why it'll be easier if you do these two projects at the same or on the same topic. But if they don't end up being on the same topic, it is okay. I do also include here some assignment vocabulary to help you as you are going through your sources. And so that will be what we work toward in our final exam. I wanted to at least just show it to you for right now, since some people had asked me how to make them work together. Okay, so on that note, I believe that that's everything that we needed to talk about for this week in particular. I look forward to the conversations on the collaboration board, and I also look forward to seeing poetry responses. And Joseph and Andrea, I can't wait to see your presentations too. See you later. Have a great week.